Get buck naked at your Duluth Trading Store.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are here with one of the favorites from the Golden Bachelor season. Nancy is with us. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
How are you? What's new? How you been?
Great.
Where are you?
Well, I'm actually in sunny Florida. I'm in Destin, Florida for my niece's wedding.
Oh,
so
that's so
nice.
exciting.
I just arrived, so fresh off the plane.
Is this the niece that got you on the show?
Yes. Good memory.
Wow. Yeah,
Thank
that is
you.
a very good memory.
Thanks.
Nice.
I know. Yeah, she applied me.
Yes, she nominated you. I remember
She's
that.
like, you need to do this. I was like, what? And she goes, it's for older people like you. I'm like, really?
What part of Florida is Destin, Florida?
Destin, it's like in the Panhandle.
Okay.
And near Rosemary Beach. Have you ever heard of that? Or
No. I don't know.
but
I'm
it's
not
up in the
sure.
Panhandle.
I've been to Miami.
It's a little different.
It's way far north.
Miami, and I've been to Tampa too.
And then I saw you were just with Kathy and Susan while they were getting all their treatments done. How was that?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
saw them.
Okay,
We saw
what do you
them
want to know?
everything because we saw them in LA at an event.
Right.
We all went to the Warner event, and then
Right.
they were going back to Susan's place to both get the treatments done.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And I've been following along. Like Kathy's been posting. How was it?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It, as you've seen, their everyday sort of experience, and they didn't do it on the same day. They did it like 3 days apart, but they wanted me to come, and I was like, sure, happy to. It was, they were in pain. We had, but it was fun and funny. But then, I don't know if you saw it, Susan had me doing yard work.
Oh,
She goes,
What?
can you go? She goes, can you go out to the shed? And I'm looking at her, and she said, because there's leaves in the beds and we need to blow those out. So she goes, pull out the blower. I'm like, okay. And I like to blow leaves. That's fine. So I pull them out, and then she's out there directing me, and she's like, there's another, you missed one. I'm like, really? Like, are you kidding me? Then she said, we're going to blow them in a few piles. I said, I'll do one pile. And then she said, okay, now Nancy, go get the lawnmower. I'm not lying. And we're going to mulch the leaves that we just put in a pile. I go, Susan, I'm doing it.
I mean, like, Susan, if you're
call your landscaper,
healthy
Susan.
enough to direct me to do this, I think that you could do it yourself.
I was in stitches. They were in stitches, literally, but I was laughing so hard. And I would do it, but it was never exactly. Susan's got a little, she saw, I swept the floor, and then she goes, there's still one crumb over there. I was like, you're kidding me. And then I got done with that day. And she goes, can you get the mail?
Were you like, why did you guys invite me here? Let's be honest. Was it to do your housework?
It was so funny, but they're doing great. And, recovering, and, they'll look fabulous. Meanwhile, I look haggard and worn because I was busting doing this stuff. And I'm like, I need a vacation. Anyway.
You deserve a vacation
it was
after.
So fun.
They got lower facelifts and CO2 laser treatments, right?
That's
Which is
correct.
basically when you
And that's
burn
new,
your
right? The
whole
CO2
face.
laser treatment's kind of new,
I
right?
think so.
Well, it's new-ish, and I do know I haven't had one, but that is on my list. It goes down deeper than a lot of lasers, and so they put you not totally out, but they give you medication so you don't really know what's going on. So it's pretty ablative, and then but it takes like 10 days.
To heal?
To heal, and your skin is literally like coming
Falling
off. Like it
off.
feels,
Oof.
it damages your skin, which is good because then your collagen is produced. Anyway, I'd
Yeah.
really like to get it done. I was hoping they'd give that to me as a gift.
Yeah.
You should say you're welcome for coming
Yeah.
and mowing your lawn. Now you should get me the CO2 laser.
This is what happens when you join a group called
This is
Askin.
friends. This
Yeah.
is friendship.
Yeah, asking.
Yeah. See?
How did you? We see you on a Pair on Joan season, and I think on the Golden Bachelor we don't really see your friendship form. How did you and Joan become good friends?
Well, honestly, as you know, she left much earlier in the season than I did. And we became friends, closer friends after I got home. We live about 20 minutes away from each other.
Okay, and
so
that's in Maryland. You guys live in Maryland?
She lives in Maryland. I live in Virginia, Alexandria.
Got it.
And so it's not far. And we became better friends. We would get together and go out or go to, her house, or she had several of us to her house right after like last January, and we all got together then, several of us. And so we've just become closer since then. And it's nice. We really have a lot in common because both of our husbands died of cancer, albeit different cancers. And it's just nice, when somebody else has gone through something similar, you can just, and I've said this before, you can sit with them and you don't even need to say anything. Like you get it.
Yeah.
And so
who in your opinion did you think was going to be the Golden Bachelorette from your season? Did you always think it was going to be Joan?
I mean, there were several people who wanted it, but I think Joan has done a really good job.
What were you? Well, going into they flew you out to Tahiti, right? Tahiti is where you were. What were you planning on talking to her about? Like, what was one thing that you were like, I need to let her know this?
Well, I wanted her to know. I heard that she was struggling. One of the producers called me and said, she just needs a girlfriend. We'd love for you to come. They called me on a Friday and said, we want you to come. And I said, oh, I love coming to LA and I'd love to see Joan. Oh my gosh, I hope, I can't wait to see her and talk to her and get the tea on that. And they said, well, you might have a layover in LA. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they said, well, we're going to Tahiti. And then they said, and we'd like you to come and, give Joan advice. And they said, she's struggling a bit. Like all of a sudden it's here and she's down to 3 guys. And I wanted her to follow her heart, but also she has felt, and you've seen it on the show, I'm sure, she brings up John. It hasn't been that long. It's only been 3.5 years. And so I think she was really just, yes, needed a girlfriend to say, you know what, it's okay. And I did. I said, you need to do this for you. And I think it just made her feel good that she saw a familiar face like me. And I think it helped.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to get dressed up for the holidays in Abercrombie's new party looks. I've been loving and wearing Abercrombie for years, different kinds of events coming up, and Abercrombie is going to be my
every day. Whether it's our world-class cheddar, Swiss, or American.
That was just the beginning. Today, Crumble's weekly rotating menu and with the convenient options for delivery and pickup available, enjoying Crumble has never been easier. Perfect for family gatherings or simply treating yourself, Crumble's amazing desserts turn every moment into a delightful celebration. Visit your nearest Crumble today. Explore the delicious options on the Crumble app and experience dessert like never before.
You said you had a journey to get to Tahiti where there was a little disguise situation. Can you tell us what went down there?
Okay, this is my favorite thing in the world.
Okay, tell us.
A producer said, we'd like you to come, and it's going to be Sunday. Now, again, this is Friday afternoon at 5. I thought he meant next Sunday. So I said, okay. And he said, and you need to bring a dress, sort of tropical, sort of, but not too summery. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking through all this. Okay, I got to get this done, this done. And he goes, and it's not next Sunday, Nancy. It's this Sunday. You're coming to
That's
LA.
Quick.
And then he said, and we have one last request. And I said, what? And he said, you need to be in disguise.
Jeez.
What? I go, do you have a costume for me? They go, no, you can do it, Nancy. We know you can.
Oh my gosh.
Literally, no pressure. So my daughter who's in college was home. And then I'm like, okay, I have a day and a half. I've got to go find a dress. So then I'm delegating. I'm like, okay, Maggie, I need you to go to CVS. And I'm thinking like, how could I be incognito? I said, go buy me one of those long ponytails, that I can put on, long blonde ponytail that comes all the way, past my waist. So she does. I got a $70 ponytail, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
You better get reimbursed for that.
Yeah. No. But then I wore a black. So I've got this long ponytail. I wore a black Psycho bunny hat with a hot pink bunny on it.
Yep.
I wore a black face mask. I wore black leggings, and then I wore this oversized, it was my daughter's surfer sweatshirt that had writing on the sleeves. And the producers, we all had a text chain.
Wow.
And
they really went to extremes.
So there's 10 people on the text chain. And I'm looking at, they're like, she cannot see you. Like, this truly had to be a surprise, Nancy, and it's up to you. You cannot, you're going to see producers in line checking in at the international
Wait, were you
terminal.
guys on the same flight to Tahiti?
Everybody's on the same flight to Tahiti.
Oh, this makes so much more sense. I mean, I figured they were just having you disguised because they didn't want people that are fans of the show like tracking that you're going. So you, Joan, and all the crew and cast are all on the same flight.
Everybody, wardrobe, makeup, everybody, all the 3 guys and their producers. And, I know a lot of the producers from when I was on the show. So I'm in line checking in, and then I see one of them who I really like. And I'm like, and she's like shaking her head, like, don't say anything. And then
I can't believe they recognized you. I would have no idea it was you based on what you just described.
I think they knew that I was like, somebody said, yes, she's got a long blonde ponytail.
Gotcha.
And then I look over, I'm in line, and I look over, and there's Joan, probably 12 feet away from me. And I literally thought, she is not going to know that I'm here. So I turn around, I let everybody go ahead of me. Then the text chain is like, okay, moving to gate 22. She's in first class, and as well as other people. And Nancy, you're going to be in row 50 in the middle seat. And I'm here again. I'm hot already because this ponytail is like this big around, and this should have
been the show.
Yeah,
this should have been an episode.
But then they couldn't film it because people would catch on that it was Nancy. She was hidden.
I know,
but I wish they had.
I said that to them. I'm like, I think this should be on. Anyway, and can I tell you, it was the biggest rush because I was like, I'm going to deliver. They told me incognito, I'm going to do a really good job. And it was so, and then when I got there, and, several people knew that I was, in the 10 people on the text chain, they knew who I was and what,
Mm-hmm.
But once I got there, then, we were on a boat, a cruise ship. And
right. You're now on this boat with her too.
And you can't cross. I mean, it was a little logistical, puzzle, but it was just like, I felt like I was 6 years old.
Was it like
honestly, that's
when
so much
you
fun,
walked past Joan and she was, because you would have had to walk past her in first class to get to your seat on the plane.
I was not, no, because the plane that we all flew on when you entered the plane, you went to the left for first class.
Gotcha.
And then coach to the right. So we didn't. And she, boarded. She was one of the first people. So, and everybody was in on it. So they knew, but it was really funny. And she saw, they said, now when we were filming it, okay, Nancy, you're going to walk down the deck. And I was mic'd and I could see her far ahead of me at a table drinking, coffee, and you're going to go surprise her. So I'm walking and I'm smiling. They said, just smile and be happy. And I'm walking, I'm smiling, and I'm saying to them, she's not noticing me. What is going on? What is going on?
Nancy, that is such a good story. Oh my
It
gosh.
was so fun. And as I may have told you a little bit ago, it's an 8.5-hour flight. So
From LA, right?
From LA.
Like you had to fly to LA.
I had flown to LA and then I had a 3-hour layover and then I flew 8.5 hours.
That's a long
with
day.
everybody. And then I couldn't, we filmed the next day, my part. But it was so fun. And it was really, really good to see her. Like you could tell that she was shocked when she finally had her eyes on me. And I think it really helped. I think she just needed to spit it out to a girlfriend. Like, she had plenty of great people around her, but I think she just needed a girlfriend.
I think that makes sense.
100%.
That makes sense. Did she tell you anything in particular about any of the guys there that made you think she was maybe swaying towards one person or the other?
At that time, I got there right before Fantasy Suites.
Okay.
They had not happened yet, but they were going to happen. And so she was talking to me about that. And she and I talked a couple of different times while I was on the boat. But she was surprised that Pascal, sort of doesn't.
No.
He isn't ready.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that threw her a little bit. I think because she thought, I'm the Golden Bachelorette. These guys want me. They're, and then she said,
especially this
sudden,
late in the journey,
this late in the game, and then they're not ready. And I think she has said that really surprised her and humbled her, because then she said, I may not leave with anybody. What if they don't want me? What if all three of these guys go, I'm not really ready yet? What am I going to do?
Yeah. That's got to be scary.
So that was scary.
Yeah. I feel like that if this was like a regular, we see this a lot with the Bachelorette, and then like you get three guys and they're not ready, and then everybody's like, well, you could have made room for this person, like whatever. John could have been there instead, and then it's always a headache, always a fight.
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. So
when she's talking to you and she's talking about Pascal, she's talking about Guy, she's talking about Chalk going into that week, did you leave the conversation being like, I think I might know who she's going to end up with?
Or did you have
any predictions? Or was it hard to tell?
It was a little hard to tell. I think she was on the fence. But I do think, and again, this isn't my gut feeling, was she had a connection to me. She had a connection with Chalk from the start.
Right. Because he was the first one-on-one date.
Right. But she then, when we were in Tahiti, hadn't seen him. So she was concerned with that time, having gone by, like, okay, is he still interested? Like, I haven't talked to him and he's coming back. And now, so I think there was a lot of uncertainty. Not a lot. I shouldn't say a lot. There was some uncertainty just because she was a little startled, I think, about Pascal.
Yeah.
Like, I thought all three of these guys were going to want me. I would think the same thing.
Yeah. And then when it rains, it pours, one person says I'm out, and then everyone's
like, me too.
So to speak.
Yeah.
And then it's just her and Nancy, and you guys could take another trip or something.
There you go.
what we actually spoke to Joan, and
Okay.
she had mentioned that she's already started meddling a little bit with women from her season and the men that are on her season hooking people up. Do you know
Yes.
anything? Are you one of these women?
Or have you heard about who it might be?
'Cause we don't know.
Okay. She didn't divulge.
No, she
No.
just said she's.
It was a quick chat.
She mentioned
Yeah.
that like two people are actually they started conversations, but that's all we know.
And that is true, but there's nobody, like she said, we've all said, is there anybody who stood out that you think I would like, or you think, Kathy or Susan or Christina or anybody? And she said, I don't really know. She said, but there's a few that I think would like, she said, I'd love to play matchmaker. And so, of course, we all hope that at some point, maybe the women who haven't met anybody and the men from Joan's season will get to have a little reunion party or a whatever so we can meet them. But I think she would like to matchmake. I don't think anything's happened that's solid right now.
Gotcha. Well, she is the perfect person at this time to matchmake because she knows all of you ladies and she knows all of these men very well.
That's right.
So
That's
we'll
right.
put her skills to the test.
All right, out of her men, is there anyone that sparks your interest?
Well, I don't want to say because what if she picks that guy?
Okay.
You know
All
what
right.
I mean?
So,
Like,
Yes, that's fair,
I
that's
do
fair.
know what you mean.
yeah, then you're like, oops, sorry. I think there are several. I think it was a good group of men that, all different personalities, all but lovely. And you saw, I think, the friendships similar to what happened on our season happened on their season.
Yeah. Since your season, have you been able to start dating at all?
Well, I have been talking to someone, but haven't met them yet. And I'm still open.
Oh, how did you meet this person?
Through my niece.
Nancy, your niece is working
This niece is
overtime.
she's gonna find you someone.
She is going to get you married for sure.
Right. But no, I'm open and I haven't gone back on any dating apps. I would prefer not to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I've done that and I didn't care for it, kind of like been there, done that. So,
yeah.
So please keep your eyes and ears open for me.
We will.
We will.
We will.
Overall thoughts on watching Joan's season back on just the way she's handled herself.
I think she's very thoughtful. I think she has given ample time. Like, I think she really takes the time with each of these men and has from the beginning and really is genuinely interested in getting to know them, even though it may not have been a romantic connection. I think she's very thoughtful with her time and herself, and she's genuine.
I can't wait to get dressed up for the holidays in Abercrombie's new going into the holiday season.
For you.
I'm Culver's team member Sephora, and I get to celebrate my love of cheese with our
Embarked on a flavorful journey to talented bakers whip up delectable treats.
After watching the season back, what do you think the biggest difference is between the group of golden men and the group of golden women? Because we were talking to Kathy and Susan about it a little bit, and there's definitely similarities, but also just like a lot of differences.
Yes. I think the men, I didn't feel like one of the differences, I didn't feel like the men were all ready to go. I felt like there were several, not just one or two, who were, still working through their grief process or being so quiet that you really didn't know what they were thinking. And I think it was hard to extract some of that from them, juxtaposed to the women, us. We were all ready. Like we were all in and ready to go and ready. I think most of us, I would say 95 or 6% were ready to go. Like if Gary had been the one, I was ready.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty accurate. And I think the women were just also more open. I think we've seen a lot of the guys a little more quiet, a little more reserved, and they were probably a little shell shocked of like, what am I doing?
Well, yeah, I think this journey opened up a lot of the men and was like a big part of like a transformation in their healing journey and like their openness to finding love. I feel like the women went in already very open.
Yes, I agree. And I think the men, there were several men, I think, who, even though they were, didn't get their final rose and had to go home, they said to Joan on the way out, thank you for the experience. This is really, I'm ready to find love. I know going through this process, I am really ready. And I think one of the sweetest parts was with Charles, who talked to Guy about his wife who had passed away. And he thought that he could have done something else to help her when Guy, explained that you couldn't have done anything else. She bit her tongue.
Yeah.
And you could see that weight lifted off of him. And he was so thankful. And then it really did help him to move forward again, even though he wasn't picked.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of growth with the men. For you personally, at this stage in your life, how do you feel about dating someone who lives on the other side of the country or not in the same state? Is that something you're okay with?
I think you have to be at this age. I think if I wouldn't, then you're going to cut yourself off, because at our ages, 60 and above, I'm 62. By this time, everybody's established. Everybody has a home, a community. And like my kids are all out of the house. I could move anywhere, but I think it was Joan maybe who said, yeah, we'll have your house, my house, and then we'll get another house. Well, hopefully you can do that. But I think, again, I think you have to be open to doing that, or your chances are going to be cut short. Yeah. And you won't have as many to pick from.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I have to say, being on The Bachelor truly changed my life. And I have so many new friends and so many fabulous experiences that I never would have had. And it's true, seeing all those men in the mansion, it brought me back, even though, it's redecorated a little bit differently, but it's still the same mansion. And I was like, oh my gosh, there was our room. Oh my gosh, it's really nostalgic almost, looking at it and seeing these guys. And I think once you've gone through it, and you guys know this, that it's special. And it really is a family, and everybody's lovely, and the producers are lovely, and we were treated so well, and we've formed great friendships with everybody.
What does a golden bachelor in paradise look like to you?
Well, no, I mean, AC.
AC,
air conditioning, and maybe bug spray, and maybe mainly AC. And I could wear a bikini, but I'm not wearing a thong. That's better. I'm hoping, I don't know if that's going to happen or if we'll all get together and do something, but I think I'm hoping that something else comes, that we can all see each other again and maybe meet some of the other guys. And I think, I would think that, America and Bachelor Nation would love to see oh, did anybody, get matched with somebody else from Jones season?
Oh yeah, I mean we're waiting for it.
We're hoping for it.
Yeah, I was hoping you had something for us. You're gonna.
I'm sorry. I'll dig around a little bit.
Yeah, dig around and come back.
I can tell you that I haven't done it, and I know several other people have not, but most have reached out. Most of the women from our show have reached out to all of the men.
I like that.
Okay.
Which
have you reached out? Have you reached out to anyone?
I have not. And the reason is I'm a little old fashioned. Not that I wouldn't, but I feel like if somebody wants me, they can look me up. They can listen to, or watch something from the show or see me. But the one thing I want to say is, I don't know if you guys know this, a month before the show, I bit into my dip manicure. Serena, you'll understand this. And I broke off. I had to get a tooth pulled. One of my front, not my very front teeth, but on the side.
Yeah.
It was a month before the show. Well, I needed an implant, but you can't get an implant that quickly, blah, blah, blah. So I'm literally crying in the dentist office. And I said, I'm supposed to be on the show. And they said, it's okay. We'll make you a retainer with a tooth in it. So I'm like,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So you had
it is. So you guys, the entire time I was on the show, I wore a retainer. I felt like I had a little lisp. So I didn't speak as much because I was afraid I would lisp. Like it was a whole shit show.
Yeah.
And then my producer would say, Nancy, come here. You have something in your retainer. And
No.
I'm like, oh my God.
Nancy, you need your own show. That's what I've gathered in this interview. You need your own show. You need your own show.
Yeah, you got a lot going on between this retainer and the disguise.
And I just so you know, I ponied up for that disguise, and I am proud to this day.
We're proud of you.
I want to be a detective or something.
Okay. Last question.
Yes.
If one of these guys from Jones season are interested in you, what would be your suggestion in how they would go about reaching out?
That's a good question.
I think they probably have all of our phone numbers, and they can text me or reach out, I guess, via DM on Instagram. I think that would be the best.
And what do you think? Like super forward? What's your style? Like flirty?
Hello.
Hello.
Just a hello, yeah.
Hello. But you know what? At this stage, like I want to be adored, and I want somebody to pursue me. I'm not going to chase anybody. Not at this age.
Good for you.
Nor should you, Nancy.
I don't think you're not going to have to, Nancy.
Thank you.
I mean, from just so you know, I think there's a decent amount of guys from this season that are interested in you, but that's just a hunch. That's just a hunch.
Yeah, we'll see.
Nancy, thank you so much for taking the time and coming and chatting with us.
It's really good to see you too.
It was good to see you.
We love seeing you on our screens. And to all our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. Make sure you download and subscribe.
We will have new recaps and exclusive interviews coming your way. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.